Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to all across the Delaware Valley. A statement! The Fighting Phils last night just uncork a just monster statement to the rest of baseball. Wow. Trey Turner. And it's interesting because he hits the slam. He's been hot. We forget just how great Trey Turner is, right? Like how good he can be, especially when he gets hot like this. You know, last year was that tough year, and of course the great standing ovation, and he gets out of the slump a little bit, but he was never really himself, right? Well, you're starting to see, and it was a perfect time because when Bryce and Schwarber out up and going into last night, right? Turner really helped them go 3-3 on the road trip. Like that was impressive because Turner got hot and he continued it. Big boys come in last night. They come back last night. And here it is. You're playing a Dodger team that's nasty, right? Like even without Mookie Betts, that team is nasty. And you just put out a statement. An incredible 6-run fourth inning. The Trey Turner grand slam, the Stott home run. It was just one of those, wow, look at this. Last night was one of those where you flex. It was really, really impressive. Just incredibly impressive. In the words, it was funny, Bo Adamas, we had Larry Bow on yesterday. We call him Bo Adamas, and he's like, listen, Phillies will take 2 or 3 the series. They will win handily behind Wheeler. And, of course, they did. They rolled. In fact, I think Bo said 5-1. And here it was in 10-1, 12-1, whatever. That piece was just unbelievable. You could put up the double digits on the Dodger pitching. And, what you're seeing, when a Wheeler leaves after 5, precautionary, you have the big lead. You leave after 5 with the precaution with his back issues, which is fine. It was just one of those nights. And that ballpark is so alive. They're so good. I mean, we're talking about the trade deadline. And it's funny because we're thinking like, oh, who are we going to add? Are we going to add, Robert? Are we going to add, Brett Rooker? Are we going to add Baldinger? And we're throwing all these names out. Meanwhile, this team is just nasty. You're going to get JT back, right? You're going to get him back. Marchand is terrific. I mean, he's a legitimate backup catcher who can hit, who can really give JT a day off. Because he really is a really good catcher. They're a good team, man. They just are. Yeah, like we talk about adding another right, like an outfield bat, and I get it. But this team is really, really good, man. They are. I mean, they are just something else. This is the best. This has to be. We're thinking about this, and we've talked about this a few times. But this has to be the best. At least regular season. 2011, they were unbelievable. They broke the record. But this lineup, they had the 4 aces in 2011, but this lineup is better. I mean, this lineup, top to bottom, is just nasty. Anyway, what a night. We're going to be getting in Phil's all morning. We're brought to you by Rite Aid. Yes, Rite Aid. Get all your favorite goods. Get all of your allergy medication with Rite Aid. So we'll get into that. We got Baldi back today, football around the corner. So we're going to be getting you set 2 weeks out from training camp. But this is a Phillies-Dodgers showdown at Citizens Bank Park, and that's what this is about today. This is a celebration of a great, great baseball team. Todd Zolecki will join us. He was there last night, so we'll get to it. That's popping off. Brought to you by Olipop, your best favorite soda, right? That's good for you. You can get it at Wawa. Get your Olipop today. As always, good morning, JP John Zapata. Buenos dias. And, of course, VG Violations Greg.
What's happening?
What's happening is a statement, boys. What's happening is that was something that was just beautiful, man. Like, it just gets you excited. We talked about it going in last night, that this was a series, right? This was one of those mileposts, like, series. Phillies, Dodgers, showdown of the National League. And they come out and they just flex.
Cuz, talk about the heat yesterday, right? VG comes in talking about the humidity, and here comes the Phillies last night to start it off, right? Zach Wheeler, Shohei Ohtani, Zach Wheeler with 3 straight fastballs, strikes out Shohei Ohtani, and that set the tone, the way Wheeler came out. And then obviously the bats, 10 runs off 12 hits. Last night was euphoric, cuz. It was a lot of fun, and the best part about it, it was against the Dodgers. Now we got 2 more here. That's a great way to start off the series, cuz.
No, and that's right. I mean, listen, you come in. Now we thought they'd win. You know,
Right.
Bo Adames knew it, but we thought that they would win last night. You know, you have the edge in the pitching matchup with Wheeler. But the bats, like that's the thing. The bats come alive, and the bats.
Even the story was Schwarber and Harper coming back,
right?
And it really, I mean, obviously,
but this
Schwarber
goes back to Trey Turner, right?
Yes.
Like Trey Turner is so fascinating to me because I almost forgot. Like last night, you know, he's been hot over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But I almost forgot how good he is. Like sometimes you forget. Oh yeah, Trey Turner's on this team. Like he's nasty.
Yeah, I mean, if he was healthy the whole year, he's in the MVP conversation, I would think, the way he's stroking the ball.
Yeah.
And when he makes contact and it's the right contact, it is such a – they talk about his smooth slide. That swing is so smooth. He almost finishes with one hand.
Yeah.
He just launches them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like that right-handed – and you know, it's funny because left-handed hitters always look pretty, right?
Yes.
Especially if you have some power. It's because of how you arc the ball and the way your swing is. But in the same way – with right-handers, the way he finishes with one, that's how you're supposed to.
He's almost on his knee sometimes.
Yeah, because it's an easy swing, and it's just like textbook easy. Like you're not supposed to grip it and rip it hard, right? Like it's supposed to be a smooth, easy swing, and that's what he's got.
It's all about the fundamentals, cuz.
He's
It
great.
just shows you how much he was in his head last year. I mean, he's a great player.
He is.
He's like the ultimate. Well, before he got here, he was the ultimate leadoff guy.
I know.
But now he's the ultimate 2-hitter.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, that's the menacing piece of baseball where it just wraps your brain, man. It just turns your brain into a pretzel.
How about that bottom half of the lineup? I'm looking 7 for 9.
I know, man.
7 for 9 with 3 RBIs.
Martian. So let me ask you a question.
Wait. Johnny Bench, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's been unbelievable. So what do you do when JT
debate
comes
today.
back? Because, you know, well, it was funny. I was talking to my buddy Tucci. We were watching the game last night, and we were talking about Stubbs. He's like, all right, well, now, listen, I know Stubbs is a beloved figure, but you can't carry Stubbs on this roster.
It's tough, and I'm curious, like, how they are going to play out with Rafael Marchand. I mean, like, obviously the kid's got the stuff, right? He's great behind the plate. He's great at the plate as well. He's
got an arm. Like, you know, listen, he's got a bat. But that's the thing. He's a real bat off the bench.
Yeah.
Stubbs is not.
Well, I mean, it's a small sample size. Give it that. It's like 56 at-bats.
Come on.
But, you know, he's good. It's just the injuries is his problem.
And you just throw him back down. Once rosters expand, he's back up for the playoff run. You know, I think that's how you play it. You can't mess with the clubhouse right now. You can't mess with Stubby.
I know, and I knew. It's funny. I said the same thing to Toots last night because he's like, you know, enough with the AAA catching, right?
Yeah.
And I go, well, there's no way in the world they're gonna move out Stubbs because of what he means to the clubhouse, you know. And he's like, enough with the clubhouse chicanery. Give me Marchand. Give me a real bat.
Well, let me ask you, could they be using it as trade bait with Rafael Marchand for this upcoming deadline? Anyone looking for a second catcher?
Yeah.
He's got some pop right now. He's looking hot.
Yeah.
People look maybe a little past the injuries, cuz?
Nah, I don't know. I mean, listen, I don't think so. But
I mean, rosters expand, August 1st?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll be back up in 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
I'll go down there for a little bit.
Yeah. He'll be here.
But you get Tucci's point.
I get Tucci's point. Yeah.
Like, Tucci's point
People
is...
find it extremely frustrating.
It's like, dude, like, I get he's a mascot, but, you know, you got... No, I don't mean it. He is.
Just call him a Philly fanatic, cuz.
I mean, he is. I don't mean it in a derogatory way. Like, that's what he is. He's a mascot. Like,
he's the
he's a likable guy. And listen, VG's point is correct. Like, their clubhouse is the best in baseball. You talk to anybody close to that team, and that clubhouse works. And I guess he's a big part of it. So that means that there's a value in that. Now, is that value greater than his Marchand's ability to hit?
Yes, I believe so. For the amount of time Marchand will actually play if JT's healthy, yeah. And nothing. There's a bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense. Schwarber being the perfect leadoff guy does not make sense for this team. But you can't mess with it. Once you mess with it, the wheels fall
There's
off.
good juju going on with this team right now.
Do you guys? It's funny about that, right? So do you honestly, in your heart of hearts, believe that? See, I don't
believe what.
Like, so here's the thing. I don't believe that if you took Schwarber out of the leadoff hole, that things would fall apart.
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't.
His when he doesn't hit first, it's abysmal, right? I don't know what the splits are, but they're pretty abysmal.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I mean, I think over a long haul, over the a true, you talk about sample sizes, over a true sample size, he's going to hit. I mean, he is always going to hit. Like he's not suddenly not going to hit at all. So you're laughing, but
I mean, the guy just likes leading off. He's comfortable there.
No, listen, I'm not advocating the move. Like,
Tomer's not going to mess with it anyway.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating to move him. I'm just talking about we have these beliefs. It's a bigger discussion. Mm-hmm. It's like we have these beliefs. Are those beliefs, accurate? Like the clubhouse, Schwarber at leadoff. Does that stuff truly mess with you? That's what's interesting about it.
I mean, I think if you're a professional like these guys truly are, like it shouldn't matter. But like there's something about Schwarber coming up, leading off, and like maybe like a big series like this one, just as an example. And he comes up and he hits a home run to start off the game. That sets the tone for the rest of the game. And I think that's the juju that we're talking about. Well, that's
what I like it. Yeah, but again, I'm just asking you guys, do you believe in that whole thing? Do you believe in, you mentioned the juju, right? Do you believe in that stuff?
For some reason with this team, I do, cuz.
Well, but this team,
it's just this team. I feel like
it almost discredits this team, though, because in my mind, and again, I want you to. It's not just an
baseball
argument.
In general.
It's not an argument to move to move Schwarber or to add a leadoff spot or Stubbs or whatever. This is just a conversation about how good they are. Mm-hmm. And my point is to talk about juju, good. Oh, there's a magic here. They're just good. They're a good team. They're probably the best team I've ever seen. That 2011 team was in the regular season, because the playoffs are a different animal. That 2011 team was a great team. They had the best pitching we've ever had in Philadelphia. This team is better. As great as the lineup was in 2009 with Jimmy and Howard and Utley, I think this lineup's more dangerous.
Is there a better Philadelphia? Like, they're just dominant, not just as the best Phillies team. I don't remember a Philadelphia team, 83 Sixers, maybe?
Well, that's it. When we think about dominant team in the league, the two dominant teams that I remember were the 83 Sixers, with nobody could touch them.
Right. All-star at every position, pretty much.
And they buried everybody. Mm-hmm. And they buried everybody. The other team, now, they lost, but the other team was the 04 Eagles.
What about the 2017 Eagles?
No.
No,
the 04 Eagles were better. Even though the 17 Eagles won the Super Bowl, the 04 Eagles they rolled through the NFC. And it was T.O. getting hurt that kind of derailed them. But they were a dominant team. Like, if we're talking about dominant teams, the 04 Eagles were and they had a great defense and they had a nasty offense.
They were the class of the league.
That's interesting.
I mean, 7 All-Stars, best record in baseball. They have 3 guys with 10 wins right now before the All-Star break. I mean, they're crazy.
And again, the Dodgers, everybody's choice to win it.
Yeah, they're still favored on Bet Parks. Come on, Bet Parks.
That's crazy. Dude, just look at the starting pitching of us and compared to them.
Right.
That's really to me. That's the main difference. I like her bats a little bit better too.
Yeah, I mean, well, yes. I mean, if you look at the Dodger lineup, it is top heavy.
Yeah.
Even when you have Betts
That's
back, right?
Yep.
You Betts, Ohtani, Will Smith, Hernandez, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after that, it gets pretty thin.
Yeah.
Like the kid Vargas is decent, Pages is all right, but like Kiki, they just got that Calvin Biggio from the Blue Jays. They're not. It's not a great bottom half of the lineup. Whereas the Phillies bottom half is nasty, other than one spot.
Yeah.
If Rojas is in the game,
That's just the one caveat.
I mean, there's a chance they may get 8 All-Stars because with Glass now out on the IL, Sanchez is a viable candidate.
Bring him up.
I'm glad you brought it up because tonight is fascinating because look, Sanchez got banged around by the Cubs his last start out, right? Like now you're starting to kind of go through the league a little bit. There's the new book on you. He's been pitching great. He gets hit around against Chicago last start. Now you got Dodgers.
Yeah.
So tonight's a very important start, I think, for him.
And obviously, Dodgers probably gonna be hungry after what happened last night. Probably be hungry for tonight to put some runs on the board. We'll see a lot about Sanchez.
I mean, how much do you put into Sanchez and Ranger with some getting hit around a little bit with JT not being behind the plate?
I think there's something there.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I think there's something there. We were, in fact, you brought up to me yesterday, VG, about that, and I think there's something there. But I will say this. Like, it's funny. When you just look at pure stuff, I think Sanchez, he worked. His fastball, he added some mileage to his fastball. So he added a little bite to it, which made everything else better. Rangers it always had, I think, legit stuff.
Yeah, he's got impeccable command usually. I mean, he hits his spots, even though his fastball only tops out at like 92.
No, but his stuff is, you're exactly right about his command and how he can back you up. He'll back you up. So his stuff is really, really strong. Sanchez added some bite to that fastball, which I think really kind of helped made it.
He's got good command too, Christopher Sanchez as well with that ball.
Well, I'm curious. Like Ranger is Ranger didn't surprise me. Sanchez surprised me.
He did, yeah. I mean, I think he surprised all of us.
Yeah, I think he
honestly.
surprised the entire league.
I
think
we all thought possibly a bullpen piece, but for him to become the starter that he has, he's your legit fourth starter. VG brought up and possibly talk about all-star nod here. It's impeccable what he's been doing this year.
I know. No, it's really something about this whole thing. If you could go through the best teams that we've ever had in Philadelphia, I mean, all right, if you just look at the Eagles, you mentioned 17. I talked about 04. The
Flyers ever had a year like that?
Flyers are some great teams.
But like dominant like that? Like where you felt like...
I don't feel like they were the class of the league. It's been a long time.
I mean, they've had it been, right? Like in the 80s.
The 80s?
I mean, they were. I mean, Lindros. Like
they had the one stretch with Lindros.
I mean, like the '97. I mean, I know they lose to the Red Wings, but in '97 they were the class of the
James Bond Flyers was 87 Flyers. Is that the JJ Daniel?
Yes. Yeah. 87.
Yeah, but still, the Oilers were the class of the league at that point.
Well, that's right. Edmonton was it. Like, if you go back to even like it's bizarre, like the early part of the '80s, the Islanders.
Yeah.
Were because they had their run they had their run as the dynasty.
Yeah.
Then Edmonton was way better.
It's not like not saying 87 Flyers were a good team, but the Phillies are the Cadillac of the league right now. Like,
right.
And it's very rare in Philadelphia we have that kind of a team.
I mean, again, it was I go back 04, it was the Eagles and Patriots.
Yeah.
Like you knew that those two teams, it was the Eagles, Patriots, and Colts because the Patriots and Colts had their rivalry. Now Brady always beat Manning, but that's how that conference went. But nobody was close. The Packers with Favre was the closest thing to the Eagles, and the Eagles are way better.
That was a good year. I think we should debate that one day because I feel like the 2017 Birds were more dominant than the 2004 Eagles.
You didn't watch the 24.
That was a fun year for me. That was like
2004.
That was like the first year as a kid that I watched football. I was 10.
Come on, Holmes. You didn't watch.
I didn't watch it the same way they did 2017.
You're not watching football through a prism of football. No.
I had my little Chad Lewis jersey on, cuz, watching 04 Birds.
No, the 04 Eagles.
McNabb the
the
Mitchell,
04
baby.
Eagles were a really... No, forget Freddie Mitchell. It was...
Freddie Mitchell.
First of all, that's the wrong year. 03 is the year where we're against Green Bay. 04 is the T.O. year. In that year with Westbrook, T.O., and McNabb and their defense. Remember, they had the freak on that team who got hurt.
The young secondary.
I mean, they were.
What was his name? The freak.
Javon Curse.
Oh, yeah.
That's 04 team. Listen, the Eagles in 17 were great, right? But it's hard to even talk about. If you look at strength of schedule and you look at what Wentz was like, Wentz was off to that MVP start, but they didn't really play anybody that year. I mean, they were good.
Yeah.
Like, they were a good team, but the 04 Eagles were a much better team.
It's fascinating, but I definitely think we got to debate that one day. But real quick, cuz, I want to tell everybody about our friends over at Rite Aid because, guys, we're all talking about going to the ballpark, going down the beach, to the pool, whatever it may be. So, guys, you want to make sure that you have your Rite Aid handy for you because they have everything needed as far as pharmaceutical services that you may need for this upcoming summer. And with a My Pharmacy account at Rite Aid, you can refill your prescriptions, schedule a vaccine, get personalized care recommendations, and sign up for prescription notifications. All you need to get started is a prescription at Rite Aid. Get started at riteaid.com/mypharmacy. Stop stressing about those prescriptions. Let Rite Aid refill them automatically. Enroll in automated courtesy refills. It's free, easy, and most prescriptions qualify. Talk to your Rite Aid pharmacist, or you could sign up through My Pharmacy account at riteaid.com, and restrictions do apply. Get your prescriptions at the same time with one-trip refills. Ask your pharmacist to sync your medications so you can pick them up with one visit. You can sync them with other family members as well. Just ask your local Rite Aid pharmacist to get started. And again, restrictions do apply. And then manage your prescriptions with the Rite Aid mobile app. It's free and easy. All you got to do is download it through the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. You could transfer or refill your prescriptions, set up medication reminders, and enroll in prescription notifications all through the Rite Aid mobile app. Transfer your prescriptions today. Go to riteaid.com/transfer. Rite Aid caring pharmacists are ready to answer your questions and help you stay healthy. Get your prescriptions along with anything at Rite Aid you may need, including over-the-counter medications, household products, cosmetics, and much, much more. Again, restrictions do apply. Just ask your pharmacy team over there at Rite Aid for more details. So whatever you may need, guys, whether it be medicine or if you need some utensils for your barbecue, whatever it may be, consider our friends over at Rite Aid, cuz.
Yeah, the paper plates.
The paper
Well,
plates.
my family lives with paper plates. Like,
It's so convenient, cuz.
you know what's interesting is it's been so hot, right? We're in the middle of this summer heat wave, the whole thing. And my wife said to me the other day, she's like, I'm not cooking this week. All right. It's too hot. I'm not cooking. So she's like, we're going to eat out. And I go, all right. She's like, what are we eating? I said, what do you think? Primo's. It's the perfect choice. And then she got a smile. She's like, all right, that's perfect. Because with the heat, like, there's nothing better than one of those great hoagies. Yeah, it's perfect, man. They're always made with great love. That's the thing about Primo Hoagies. The original started in 1992 on Rittner Street in South Philadelphia, and they've always made each hoagie with care and with love. That was always their mantra. We're going to use the best ingredients, human meats and cheeses, piled high on that bread. That incredible seeded roll, baked in store every couple hours. It's the difference. It's why the Primo Hoagie is so much better than anything else. And now's the perfect time. Like, we got busy stuff. It's summer. Who's going here? Who's going down the shore? You know, I got the baseball tournaments. We're doing all this stuff. Yeah, that's why you go to Primo Hoagies. Go to primohoagies.com. You can see the menu. And there's something for everyone. My kids, like my Anthony loves the meatball sandwich. My Massimo likes the Genoa salami. My wife does the veggie, the Nona. So, like, that's what it's about. Primohoagies.com. You'll say what I always say. It's not just a hoagie. It's a Primo.
Yo, don't sleep on their salads. Potato salad, macaroni salad. I love them on a hot day.
I love those.
Do you like the salads?
Yeah, on a nice day. They're a little
not a salad
cooling.
guy,
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't like the mayo,
myself.
right?
No.
Yeah.
I can't do the mayo.
Yeah, they're nice on a hot day. Some good
Yeah.
coleslaw with the sandwich.
Yeah, you're salami.
Pasta salad, the olive oil?
No. kill pasta. That's a tragedy against pasta.
You always got to take it one step too far, JP.
Like you're killing me.
Mayo
Man.
was one thing. Now you're killing pasta.
Like, don't touch pasta. Pasta does not belong to salad. Salads are green. All right? That's what that is. All right, now I want to talk about the Phillies because the big story brought to you by Truemark Financial Credit Union. The fighting Phillies thump the Dodgers. And joining us is my main man. He does such a great job covering the fightings. The great Todd Zolecki, MLB.com. Todd, what a night last night.
How are you? What's going on?
Man, that was phenomenal last night.
Thumped him. Great atmosphere from the beginning. Zach Wheeler starts it, strikes out Ohtani on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball swinging. It was the 6th hardest pitch that Wheeler threw all season, so he reared back a little bit for that one. You know, right out of the gate, he's like, I'm going to set the tone here. He strikes out Ohtani, and they went on from there. So yeah, it was a fun atmosphere last night. It was packed again as usual, but the Dodgers were in town. Everybody's talking about how the Phillies going to measure up, and they made it's one game. It's July, but they made a little bit of a statement coming out of the chute.
Yeah, and listen, I think there are series along the way that means something, right? Like, I believe in the statement because I do believe as much as the playoffs are a crapshoot and a different animal, you do have a flex. And if you play a team and you show where you're at, what you belong, I think that matters.
I agree with you, and I think the Phillies want to show. They came off of 3 road series. They lost that series to the Red Sox. They lost that series in Baltimore. They lost that series in Atlanta, all on the road. So I think it's important for them against a good team at home to kind of make some hay, so to speak. So at least you want to win 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. If you can sweep them, that's even better, of course. Yeah. But I do think that that's something on their mind. They have the best record in baseball. The Dodgers are chasing them down for the best record in baseball. You want to have that home field advantage. The other thing, too, is you win the season series against the Dodgers, and if for some reason these two teams would finish the season tied, you get the tiebreaker for home field advantage. So there's definitely some importance in an early season series or a regular season series against a top title contender.
Yeah. And let's talk about Trey Turner for a second. So you almost forget how great a player that he is. He was hot before he gets hurt, and he just started heating up again. And then you see last night, you just see what kind of level of a player he is, Todd.
100%. I remember when they signed him, everybody obviously was ecstatic because they were like, this guy's a superstar player. Then he gets off to the terrible start last season. He finishes strong, but he starts this season strong. Now you're going, oh my gosh, this guy's hitting like 340, 330, 350. He has a chance to, I was looking this up the other day. The Phillies have not had a player win a batting title since Richie Ashburn in 1958. He could be the first. If Trey Turner plays every game the rest of the season, he'll have enough plate appearances to qualify for a batting title. So he's in line for that right now. If he continues to stay healthy, plays every day, almost every day, he could be the first Phillies player to win a batting title since 1958. Wow. If you look at his slash line right now, on base percentage, slugging percentage, he could have the highest OPS of any Phillies shortstop in history, I believe, even better than Jimmy Rollins' 2007 NL MVP season. So that's the kind of season he's having. He's not going to have the final end of the year numbers that J-Roll had because J-Roll had over 700 plate appearances that season. So he's not going to have the home runs, the triples, the doubles, the RBIs. But he is going to have, in terms of everyday production, he's going to be having a better season. He's on pace to have a better season than Jimmy Rollins in 2007. So team's been around for a long time, and as you know, it's been around since 1883. So it's pretty cool to see this happening right in front of our eyes.
You know what's nuts, brother, is that like you brought that up. They haven't had a batting leader since Richie Ashburn. That's amazing. And like now I think about it, I remember. I'm trying to think of top fives. Was Utley had to be a top five? Abreu.
Abreu one year hit like 338. I can't remember what year it was. Utley I think it was in 06, he hit 331. That might have been the year of he had that 35 game hitting streak. So they've had some guys have some really good seasons, but they haven't had a guy win a batting title. So something to watch as he gets down to the end.
Yeah.
Especially in September, as they try to wrap up a division title. It would be kind of cool to watch. And I know today's day and age, a lot of people dismiss some of the old school metric, but it's cool to win a batting title.
Yes,
it's cool to win a batting title.
That.
Come on.
Thank you. I know we diminish batting average and all, but come on, man. Like the batting average and the home run king, that it still matters, man.
Absolutely. And wins still matter too to pitchers. It's so, you have a lot of people, and I think pitchers deep down, they go, okay, I understand wins are kind of out of my control. But if you ask a pitcher, even today, that grew up in the new school metrics and all that stuff, they care what their win-loss record is. They all care what their win-loss record is. So Zach Wheeler getting 10 wins last night. Nola's got 10 wins. All those guys have 10 wins in baseball. That stuff, those old school numbers, the ones that are in the back of your baseball card, they matter to those guys.
The ones on the back of those baseball cards.
Yeah, exactly. Right? A lot of 20 games winners back here.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I still and maybe that's because that's how we grew up, but I love that stuff. I still think it does matter. Let's talk about just how good they are. Yesterday I was talking to Larry Boa, and he was just talking about how just sheer dominant they are. How great a ball club they are. Yeah, we always thought we're going to talk trade deadline and tweaking here and there. But Todd, 2011 was the best Phillies team. I know 77, they were great. But 2011 with the four aces was the best Phillies team because they had a good lineup and they had that rotation. What do you think? This one or that one?
I think this one. I do. I think this one because I think this offense is a little bit more potent. I think the bullpen is definitely better. And I think this rotation, I can't say that they're better than the 2011 rotation because that rotation might have been might have had one of the best single seasons of any rotation in baseball history, but this rotation is really, really close. And you talk about the trade deadline, there's really not a lot of glaring weaknesses. There's things that they can upgrade. They could use a right-handed hitting outfielder for sure, no doubt about it. They could probably use another reliever for sure, no doubt about it. But it's not a team that's going, we got to fill this massive hole. Otherwise, we got no shot to win the World Series. I think they're very deep. They're going to continue to make upgrades before July 30th. But this is a team that historically could be the best Phillies team in franchise history, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm with you. And you're right because you think about the 2011 rotation. Obviously, you have Halladay, right? So it starts with Halladay, but Wheeler is Halladay light. All right, let's term it like that. And then afterwards, like Lee and Hamels were good, very good. But they weren't. Lee and Hamels both had better years previously than that 2011 season. And you're going Nola and Ranger, not a big drop off. And you could argue Sanchez was as good because Oswald had lost a lot at that point.
He was hurt that year a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, those four guys, they match up. That would be a lot of fun. I'm sure somebody can put together some sort of computer simulation and play the 2011 Phillies with the 2024 Phillies 10,000 times, see who comes out on top in a best of 7 series. But I do think this offense is better because
way better. The offense is way better.
Yeah, because you have guys in their prime right now. They're legit prime. Bryce Harper, we just talked about Turner. Kyle Schwarber's had a nice season. You have Alec Boehm emerging as a star player.
Stott.
You have JT Realmuto coming back. Stott. The 2011 Phillies, they had to go out and get Hunter Pence, remember, because they were lacking some punch. Utley had the knee injuries at that point. Rollins had kind of taken a step back. And, they lost Jason Worth, who was their best player in 2010 offensively, arguably. So this offense, I think, is better. And then, you have the back end of this bullpen with Hoffman, Strom, Alvarado, Kirkring. I think they're going to probably maybe go out and get somebody else, but they are stacked. They're stacked. They're on pace to win 105, 106, 107 games. And they haven't even been playing that great of baseball recently because they've lost them. Right? They've been hurt. Yeah, exactly.
JT, it was funny. We were talking about this earlier. Do you think because Ranger and Sanchez last start against the Cubs a little down, is that a JT thing? Do you think they missed JT when it comes to that?
I don't know how much of it is a JT thing, although I certainly they love throwing to him, and JT is brilliant behind the plate in terms of making adjustments from batter to batter and inning. I personally think it is more of these two guys might be getting a little tired going into the break. You know, Christopher Sanchez has really never thrown this many innings going in an All-Star break before. Ranger Suarez, he's over 100 innings right now. I think the most he had ever thrown before the All-Star break was a couple years ago. He was like at 84. So both of these guys are beyond where they normally have been in their careers. So they might be feeling a little tired. I asked Ranger the other day in Atlanta, you think you're going through a dead arm? Of course, he said, no dead arm. I know I'm not tired. I'm not tired. But you talk to Rob Thompson, he's like, he's probably a little tired right now. So the All-Star break is coming at a right time. But the good thing is, because the Phillies have this lead right now, they have an 8-game lead over the Braves. If they want to, in August, they could go to a 6-man rotation.
I was just about to ask you about a 6-man.
Yeah. So they've gone to a 6-man each of the last 2 years. They could go to a 6-man again easily if they wanted to. The other day, I was looking it up, and because people say like, well, the Braves, you don't want to lose any ground on the Braves. I'm not saying they're gonna it's locked up or anything like that, but an 8-game lead is very, very big. If the Phillies would play like 500 the rest of the way, the Braves would have to play like at a well over 600 winning percentage just to tie the Phillies in the division. So the Phillies, because they got off to such a great start, they do have some wiggle room, and that would afford them the opportunity to go to a 6-man rotation. Make sure that Wheeler and Suarez and Nola and Sanchez are rested up for the postseason, because that's the prize. That's the prize.
I'm with you. It was funny. I was just about to ask you if you think that was in the cards. And you look at Atlanta, and both Strider and Acuna, like taking your two best players off your roster, it just buries you. Because look how good their rotation would be if you had Strider, Sale, and Fried as 1, 2, 3. As opposed to just Sale and Fried. Like, that's such a, it's the right-handed power arm with the two lefties.
Absolutely, yes. And, when I watched, the Braves won 2 out of 3 this past weekend in Atlanta. But when I watched that series, I wasn't sitting there going, oh, man, Phillies, they got to be shaking in their shoes here. They got to pick it up, because I see the Braves making a hard charge. The Braves are a great team. I think there's going to be a lot of nervous Phillies fans if the Braves play the Phillies in the NLDS with the scripts flipped, right? Is the layoff going to get the Phillies? I know there's going to be a lot of nerves, and but I still think the Phillies are a much better team than the Braves right now, and I would much rather be the Phillies than the Braves the rest of the way and going into the postseason.
It's interesting. We were talking about the lineup, right? And when you have, and again, no Harper, no Schwarber in that series against Atlanta, when you have them back and you stack up even the Dodgers lineup, even when Betts comes back, I mean, the top half's ridiculous, right? Betts, Ohtani, Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Freeman, right? Yeah. So you look at those, they're ridiculous. But then the next half of it is pretty ordinary.
Right, and this team, I think, is deeper. You have Stott, you have Nick Castellanos, and Nick Castellanos, as much crap as he's gotten for that awful start that he had, the last 6-7 weeks, he's actually put up some decent numbers. He's going to continue to have those games where it's like, what is this dude swinging at?
Yes.
I don't get it. But if you look at his overall production the last 6-7 weeks, he's actually been very solid, especially if he's going to hit 7th in this lineup, the final couple months of the season and in the postseason. There's a lot of teams that would love to have a Nick Castellanos hitting 6th, 7th in this lineup. And then you have Marsh. And again, I do think they're going to go out and they're going to find a right-handed outfielder. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a center fielder. I think it could be a corner outfielder. I know
we were talking about Rooker.
And Rook. Totally.
Right? They're coming in this weekend. And look, Rooker had last night, he's got the lineup. The A's lineup's horrible, right? So he's got nobody around him. He's got Pop. Last night he had a couple hits, scored 3 runs. I mean, he's a professional hitter.
Yeah, he is, and I think he would be a good guy to have in that lineup to offset, because they do need to prepare. We talked about just the postseason. You talked about Sale and Fried. You want to have a right-handed bat in there if they're matched up against the Braves in the NLDS,
Yeah, it's a great point. Yeah.
you don't want to have, I mean, no disrespect to Christian Pache or Whit Merrifield, but you want to have a little bit more thump in there to offset Sale and Fried in the postseason. So if you could get a Brent Rooker, or you can find another right-handed bat that can kind of even things out, I think that's the way they got to go.
Yeah, that's a great point. How about Marchand? I like Marchand, man. He can hit.
He can hit. He's great behind the plate, and the pitchers love throwing to him. It will be interesting to see what happens when JT comes back. I think JT is going to come back the first game after the All-Star break. I guess there's a chance he could come back this weekend, but the feeling is when Rob Thompson talks and other people's talk is that they're just going to have him just bring it back on Friday in Pittsburgh, next Friday in Pittsburgh. So when JT comes back, the question is what happens? Stubbs has options. We know Marchand has options, so they have some flexibility there. Now, Rob Thompson said it was either in Chicago or in Atlanta. I can't remember what we were talking about, Ant, but he basically said, I'm very aware of the atmosphere and the vibe and the feeling in this clubhouse. It's something I pay close attention to. So for that reason, I think Stubbs will stay with the team, especially if JT's going to catch every day. I think they could send Marchand back to AAA. Tell him, listen, we want you to play regularly. So in case something happens, you can come up and you're ready to rock and roll and perform like we need you again. Don't be bummed out. Go down there with a good attitude. That's the way I think they'll go. I wouldn't be surprised if they option Stubbs and sent Marchand down, but Stubbs does a good job in a very limited role. I know he struggled, but since he's been playing regularly, he's hitting like 280 since JT went down. He's actually done okay offensively, and I do think again Rob really values kind of the
we were talking about that,
dynamic.
and I think you're right. Like my man VG was saying the same thing. Like I think you guys are right. There's no way you don't really need to do that, especially with what you're trying to gain in the regular season. Like you said earlier, like they're going to win this division, all right, barring anything crazy. So you don't really you're not stressed to have Marchand's bat and
correct.
You could afford to carry Stubbs this year and keep those good vibes it's clearly Marchand is an upgrade, but you don't need to worry about that now.
Yeah, I think having Stubbs, if they would option him for some reason, even if you could say, listen, baseball decision wise, this is great. We don't want to play JT as much coming off the knee injury. I don't know that they're going to do that. But I think it would be almost so jarring to that clubhouse to not all of a sudden lose Stubbs. That stuff matters. And I know a lot of people dog on, who's a good clubhouse guy, who's not. Who cares if this guy's a vibes guy or, a positive influence in the clubhouse. That stuff matters to the players in the clubhouse. It does. That just does. And again, Stubbs, it's not like when Stubbs has been playing recently, he's performed. He's caught some good games. He's gotten some hits. And Rob Thompson said the other day, he's like, the hardest job in Major League Baseball, in his opinion, is being JT Realmuto's backup. You think about Garrett Stubbs the last 2 years, he's almost never played. So, of course, he's going to struggle. I remember Matt Stairs in 2008 when he came over from the Blue Jays. He obviously had a tremendous year pinch hitting. Look at his 2009 numbers when he never played. He was terrible. He was hitting I think he had like an 0 for 23, 0 for 30 stretch as a pinch hitter because he never played. Same thing with Garrett Stubbs. So, I think people kind of dog Stubbs because of the lack of success. But when he has played, he's shown that he can hit a little bit. And I think that's all the Phillies need out of their backup right now.
Last thing, Todd, do you think that they'll touch any of their top prospects? Because I almost think you don't have to. You don't need to.
I'm on board with you, Ann. This idea of they got to go all in, and if you can trade Aiden Miller,
no,
if to get somebody, or if you want to throw Andrew Painter in there or whatever, I personally would not do that. I personally don't know what big star is going to be moved before the trade deadline. I don't know that there is. I think the Phillies have enough depth and they have enough creativity in that front office that they can find a way to upgrade without sacrificing some of their top talent. So Aiden Miller for me is a no-go. I've had people say that he's their best position player prospect in decades. Andrew Painter could be a superstar pitcher. I don't touch those guys. Mick Abel has not been good this year, so maybe you consider Mick Abel, but also he's still only 22 years old, and you can get it to turn around at any point. So I think they'll be open to some guys, but I also don't think, Ant, that they need to go out and go all in and to find somebody, because they're a really good team, and I think this is a team that just a couple enhancements would go a long way.
I think you're spot on, man. You're so right. Todd, you're the best, buddy. This is so much
Thanks,
fun.
you too.
This is great, man. I just love talking Phillies with you. Thanks, my brother.
Best. Thank you. Take care.
There he is, the great Todd Zolecki, MLB.com. Vibes, man. Talking vibes.
Don't mess with the vibes. I think Casper in the chat room referred to it as like feng shui. Man, balance and harmony. Just don't mess with it. Example. You don't understand it, but just do it.
You know what? It's a very interesting, example.
Can I just put something in perspective? I just did real quick. The Dodgers backup catcher, Austin Barnes, bats 234, slugs 260. The Orioles backup catcher, James McCann, bats 211, slugs 325. The Guardians, Bo Naylor, bats 201. I mean, backup catchers stink. There's no good ones out there for the most part.
I mean, if you kind of look at it, the catching position is weak throughout baseball. So the backups make it even more so. It's a little unique now, and I'll say this, and again, I get it. And for this year, you don't need to mess with it. You got a division that's won, right? Like Tooch and I were talking about. I'm like, there's no way they're going to do that. But here's the thing: going forward, next year is when you got to think about it, because next year is when you want to dial JT back a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And
you would play a Marchand more during the regular season.
A bold move. If they end up doing what we want and winning,
well,
and then you go to...
But I'm just saying, that's something you have to think about for next year. At some point, you got to dial JT back.
Yeah.
Got to start thinking about that stuff.
All right. This portion of the program brought to you by the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. That means it's brain time.
Brain. Red the brain, Feinberg.
What do you say there, Brain? How are you?
Good morning, G. Anthony. How are you this morning?
How about those fighting Phillies, man? How about it?
That was over. I mean, you talk about a laydown by the Dodgers. I mean, that was just, look, they're playing amazing. We already know that. Getting their players back is going to make them that much more of a tough team to beat now that they got their guys back. Great performance.
Oh, the brain froze.
That's what happens when you got your shirt unbuttoned like that.
Shoot.
Oh, you hate the. That's right, the neck. No, when you're coming about on the air. Here we go, Brain.
Hang on. Shucks.
He's a shucks guy.
I think he's trying to show some respect
for the audience, for the airwaves.
I think he's trying to show some respect. But that is a brain freeze.
No hot mics out here for brain.
The brain freeze is one of the worst things ever.
Oh, for sure.
For that moment in time, you can't
do anything about it.
No.
Like I love my Pop's water ice, right?
Yeah.
I love a water ice. That's one of my favorite things to have. Yeah. And it's hot, right? Yeah. And you just dive in, and the next thing you know, and it's right above your right eye. And your brain is just
can't do anything.
Pain, man.
It's like a great built-in governor. It's like, all right, you're being such a hoarder, or you just your brain's like, whoa, and the body's like, stop down, you pig, relax a little bit, Jesus.
God's incredible how he makes the human body. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, it's, it's almost a fail-safe.
Control yourself.
Yeah, stop it. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Popping water right. All of a sudden, and you get the brain.
Slow it down, son.
Oh my God, it's the worst. Oh, that is the worst. All right, we're gonna try to get the brain back.
Brain.
Right? Yeah. It's interesting to get back to what Todd said. I don't want to trade, and we talked about this. I don't want to trade any of the. I'm definitely not looking to move Aiden Miller.
No.
And again, we talked about we've been waiting for Painter. We've been waiting for him, right?
Man.
He has Tommy John. Now's not the time to move him.
No.
I'm not messing with those two. And I probably would mess with Crawford, but we've been waiting for them to develop an outfielder in-house for 3 decades, it feels like.
Yeah, but how long until Crawford actually comes up here?
Crawford, they're projecting him like 2 years out.
It's a tough spot.
But I'd
Do we win
probably
now?
move on from Crawford. I know Bo is a huge Crawford fan.
We talked about him yesterday.
Yeah.
With us, he talked about him.
Constantly keep hearing about him.
You know? I mean, again, it all depends on who I'm looking at. But you're going to tell me that I can't get Brett Rooker for, like, the A's are going to want long-range prospects. This is where I give them low, this is where I'm going to A-ball.
Well, I got that Caba kid. He's 18, shortstop. He's been having a nice season, I think.
Like, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
I mean, the A's are 3 years from a new stadium for that move.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to play 2 years in the AAA ballpark in Sacramento. They're going to draw flies.
It's the A's. They're money ball.
No, but until they go to Vegas, they're they're not looking to. What's going to cost you to get Brett Rooker?
It shouldn't cost much.
I have 3 untouchables. I forgot, man. Samuel Adegiri.
The Paisan.
Come on, no one's touching him either.
The pitching Paisan. I thought about it. He just got the kid who is from Italy. He's from Verona. He got elevated to Reading. So he got promoted from Lakewood to Reading. So in fact, we're gonna spend the day. We're gonna do the show from Reading.
Yeah, can't wait for that one.
You down with that?
Yeah, of course.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
Berkshire got some great food too, some good spots.
I think.
You know where Berks County?
I have friends in Reading, so I've been there a couple times.
All right.
I like Reading. It's a nice little escape.
Andrew's either got to go to the bathroom or Brad's back. He's waving over there.
Brad's here.
I think he's going to go to Steve. All right, Brain. We got you back,
I apologize,
Brain.
man. It's funny. There was a storm here, and my internet has been a little wacky since I've called Comcast. Anyway, I apologize.
No worries. No worries. All right, Brain, couple things. Let's get to it. We talked about the Phillies. So now you got game 2 of that series. How do you look at it?
I mean, listen. I mean, again, right now, when the Phillies have their right lineup, so to speak, Anthony, I can't fade this team. And it's funny. People were talking about Rangers Suarez and how great he's pitched, which he has.
Sanchez,
it's funny. Can you argue that maybe Sanchez has even been, dare I say, I think he's almost been more consistent, and maybe even the better of the two pitchers. Look, the way he's pitching right now, I'm not looking to fade him. And the fact right now the Phillies definitely have a more whole lineup with no Mookie Betts for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Listen, only way I can personally look is the Phillies side. Again, Sanchez has just been, again, it may be going to the supermarket, not seeing the cornflakes brand. I mean, he's not a Zach Wheeler name brand Sanchez, but you know what? He's been, in terms of effectiveness, he's been right there.
You're spot on. I am curious because you got hit around a little bit in Chicago. So I'm curious to see what happens. So I know it's 1 start. But I'm curious to see what happens against Dodgers. But what I love about Sanchez was, and I was talking about this earlier, he added a bite to his fastball. So that makes everything better. Like when all of a sudden your number 1 pitch adds, you got a little bit more bite to it. You got a little bit more velo to it. That just keeps everything off kilter. And I think that's been one of the big reasons why he's pitched so well.
What I like what the Phillies did by signing him long term. Like, I just thought that was a shrewd move. Look, I think when you get these guys, you know what your salary is. You don't have to worry. What they get him 4 years, Anthony? I think.
Yeah.
Then they signed him. I think that's just like listen. You want guys like that signed. You want that. It's extremely important. And again, obviously gives him financial certainty of security. But I thought it was a good move by the Phillies as well.
I did too. I'm with you. All right, buddy. Because we're up against it a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
What do we have? What are we looking at?
Got 2 straight games for you, Anthony. Look, I'll be like the under in the 5-inning line in Corbin Burns versus Shota Amanja. 2 elite pitchers. I would have made this total 4. On the park side, it's 4.5. Thought it was a half run too high. Burns is right there as after Skubal is the next Cy Young candidate.
Yeah.
He's been great. Amanja pitched well against the Phillies. He gave up a 2-run home in the 6th inning his last game. But besides that, he's actually been really, really good. I like that, Anthony. And then the other one I liked was our old friend Michael Lorenz. It's having an under-the-radar great year. 87 innings. He's only allowed
Texas.
63 hits. Yeah, only allowed 63 hits. An
Yeah.
ERA of around 3 going against Griffin Canning, who's been awful. I have a much better lineup. A pitcher who's been far more consistent. You only have to lay $1.30. It's interesting. The game line's closer to $1.50. I'd rather lay $1.30 in a 5-inning line, even though I do think I have a better bullpen with Texas. But I'd rather just get out of Dodgers if it's a tie game after 5 innings, not having to lay an extra
They
20
stick
cents.
to like the Angels are horrible.
Horrible. One of the worst teams in baseball. Very reasonable price for a Texas team that has a far better lineup, in my opinion, a far more consistent pitcher, and you're laying a pretty reasonable price. I thought it was very worth doing.
Hey, any prediction? Because the guys here can't wait for the Dutch versus England in the Euro. Any prediction there?
Just from watching it, and again, I would probably lean Netherlands to me. Just from watching it, I kind of felt like England kind of got away with one last game. That's just my own personal take. So I would actually lean to the orange here.
Yeah, the orange are awesome. and then my man JP is a proud Colombian. Colombia,
there you go,
Uruguay,
man.
which is
Wow,
a great
all
one
right.
in the Copa. Any prediction there?
I mean, I think they have a real chance here. Although I will say this: that 5-0 game was a little. Did you watch the whole game? I mean, there was 3 penalties, and I mean,
Right.
I'm not
A little bloated.
I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
they're a little bloated, but again, very well deserved. Argentina hasn't looked like amazing. I mean, they obviously they've gotten.
Well, they're playing Uruguay. Argentina's already.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They're playing Uruguay. It's funny. I wanted
Uruguay's
to go
actually pretty good.
to those games. I wanted to go to those games, but I'm not going to be able to make it. But I really wanted to go.
Yeah.
I would always love to go to a big soccer event like that. But
I'll meet you in the final, Brad.
watching.
We'll go to Miami together.
You're in Miami. You could go to the game.
No. Now I'm in. No, Anthony. I'm during the summer, buddy. I'm in Margate, New Jersey.
Oh, nice.
Margate,
That's fantastic. Yeah, we got to get you up here to do pizza. All right.
Listen, we'll pick out a dime and we'll pick out a day, and I'll dust them off, man.
I love it. Let's make that happen. Do me a favor. Tomorrow, I want to talk a little,
Yes, sir.
little summer league, little hoop. All right.
Little Ricky Council.
Yes. All right. Let's talk a little hoop tomorrow. Okay.
All right, buddy. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Brain. Here he is, the Brain, the great Brad Feinberg.
He brings up Ricky Council, cuz goes, yeah, and I bring up Ricky Council, he's busting my stones. Jeez Louise, cuz.
Jeez,
Actually, I wasn't even. I was just trying to move on so I could talk about the Bet Parks Casino.
I know you're excited to talk about
It was more of a, listen, I like Ricky Council in the regular season, but you talking about them in the playoffs.
Dude, I got the jersey in the car right now.
God. I love you. You're my son. You know that. You're like Anthony. You're like the sweetest kid. You're awesome. You have a beautiful disposition, and everything is sunshine, just like Anthony. There's no reality. And I'm a jolly Charlie normally, not this morning.
No?
Parks Casino, perfect for after work get-togethers. That's right. Date night, girls' night out, hanging out with the fellas, sip on tantalizing drinks, soak up the warmer weather, good vibes right now at Parks Casino. How about this? Parks Casino, this is how you win. You get $5 epic happy hour, great food, drinks every Wednesday through Sunday at the Liberty Bell Gastro Pub. Oh, man. How about this? $5 drafts of Ford Stout, Victory Seasonal, Parks Pills, $8 glasses of Albertoni Cabernet. Enjoy the drink of summer. $5 Twisted Tea, frozen whiskey Arnold Palmers. Feast on flavor pack, $5 small plates, braised short rib sliders, hot honey chicken sliders, rotisserie chicken flatbreads. The all-new Parks Casino epic $5 happy hour happening right now. Summer's approaching. All roads lead to Parks Casino, the #1 casino in Pennsylvania. Parks Casino, 3,200 state-of-the-art slots, 115 live table games, a beautiful poker room, a collection of incredible award-winning restaurants. Joe Conklin's Comedy Night. I love Joe. He's the best. The best cover bands every weekend at 360 Lounge. Headliners every weekend at the 1,500-seat Excite Center at Parks Casino. Tiffany Haddish, in fact, right now, September 27th, JB Smooth is coming in September. Tickets for all shows, parkscasino.com. Visit parkscasino.com. Got to be 21 or older. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Parks Casino, this is how you win.
Well, because. All right, guys, so obviously today we're talking about a lot of these vibes. These vibes are rising. They're really high here with the Phillies. But one thing that will kill those vibes is those interest rates on these mortgages. I completely feel you. So that's why we're talking about our friends over at Mortgage CS. Although they can't control the rising rates, they'll make sure the vibes are great when you're buying a house. And I'm telling you guys, just because these rates are rising shouldn't stop you from looking into some home buying here today. Values are expected to keep going up, so don't put off buying just because rates are slightly elevated. Refinancing with Mortgage CS is straightforward. When rates drops, Mortgage CS will monitor your refinance opportunities and ensure you will save money responsibly. You don't want to pay a ton of fees when you refinance, but you'll never get that at Mortgage CS. And in the end, you'll be happy that you have texted Ben, the CEO of Mortgage CS. And by the way, one of the biggest Philly sports fans that we know here. And the best part about it is the transparency that he has. He actually gives you his cell phone number. Guys, if you're watching live on YouTube, you can see it right there on the bottom left of your screen. 267-391-7425. Text him right now. Ask him what he thought about last night's amazing performance by the Phils, or you can ask any questions to get your home buying process started here today. Again, that's 267-391-7425, or you can go to mortgagecs.com/PHLY to get your home buying process started here today. And don't take it from me. I believe that Mortgage is a great company to go through, but take it from the other 350 people who have rated it 5 stars or more. So guys, don't let these rising rates stop you. Get your home buying process here today with our friends over at Mortgage CS, cuz.
All right, JP. Thank you, buddy. It's 10 o'clock. And we are brought to you by Rite Aid. That's it, Rite Aid. I was there yesterday.
Where are you now?
2 days ago.
Nice.
Allergy stuff.
Love Rite Aid.
Yeah.
Get some popcorn? Some allergy meds?
I got the allergy meds.
Okay.
I do all that stuff.
I was there yesterday getting Epsom salt.
Were you?
Yeah,
that's what it
My
is.
guys are falling apart here. I got to take care of them.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I can't wait because I've missed this guy. It's been like 2 weeks since I talked to him.
If anyone's got a sciatica cure, it might be Baldi.
Yeah.
I could use it if you get a moment to slip that question in.
He's got I would trust Baldi as my
Yeah.
doctor,
Yes.
my lawyer, my financial advisor,
Yes.
my dietitian,
Yes.
my psychologist, psychiatrist,
Dating coach.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a job that Baldi, in my eyes, couldn't do for me.
Probably talks like 12 languages. Like,
No, seriously, it's Baldi.
Baldi, Baldi. Oh, let's talk some football. Yeah, Baldi, Baldi. Oh, he likes meats and football.
Oh, Baldi. That's right. Here he is. He would be my doctor, lawyer, financial advisor, life coach, you name it, the great Baldi. Good morning, my brother.
Well, buongiorno, cuz I'm going Italian on you because next Monday at this time I will be in Roma. So I will be in your mother country next Monday at this time. So
You're going?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're going to Rome? What else are you doing?
Well, I got to go to Rome. I'm taking my girl with me, right? So she's been to Rome, but you can't go to Italy and not pay your respects. San Pietro, you just have to pay your respects. But it's too hot in Rome right now, so. Just a couple of days there. We're taking a drive down the coast to the Amalfi Coast. A couple of days there. We're going to go to Capri and then end up in Sardinia. So we got a good 9-day trip.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sardinia.
I
Oh,
love Sardinia.
oh.
Sardinia is honestly, it's a magical place. It's an island, obviously. It has a great history. And really, when you get to the Costa Smeralda, up on the northern coast of Sardinia, it's about the highest quality of life that you could possibly have, from weather to the sea to the food to the culture, the people. It's a great spot in this world.
It's also a blue zone, and and
You can
where
see why.
people are, which is such an amazing thing about how there's points in this world where people live long, right? Where the life expectancy will reach triple digits.
No doubt. And so you can see why. I mean, basically everybody walks everywhere, for the most part. So
Yeah.
you're getting that in. You can't help but socialize. You can't help it. I mean, people are just so friendly, outgoing. And so you walk with people wherever you're going. The sea, once you get in, you can't get out. You can flip a quarter and a nickel from 50 feet. You can see the difference. The cleanest, clearest water in the world. And then the food really, I mean, it's not just Italian because you get a French influence from Corsica. You're in the Mediterranean, so everybody sort of comes through there. So the food is going to be made fresh every day, whatever meal you're having. So it's sort of, and then the sun is just so vibrant there, every day. So you kind of get all the things you think you need in order to live a long life. It's all there.
Now, I have my place that at some point in my life I will go and live, and it's got similar vibe to it. It's in Puglia, and it's interestingly, my wife found the place.
People that don't know, because the Puglia is in the boot of
Yes.
Italy. So the very southeast corner of your country is right there.
Yes, and there's a forest. There's a town called Vieste, and it's right on the Adriatic, and it juts out into the sea. And there's a forest, and interestingly, it's called the Gargano Forest. And there is like the fresh air, the sun, right? Like the sun and the water and the clean, and it's so like it revives you. Like breathing that air is different.
Yeah, no, that's you inhale that, and your whatever you were just talking about, allergies. Those allergies will dissipate.
Yes.
Pretty quick.
Yes.
They can't survive.
Yes. So before we get to all the stuff we got to get to, do you have a cure for sciatica?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to open up your hips. The stretching is going to be very key to sciatica. Your knees, your nerves are getting compressed. The sciatica nerve comes out of your back, goes down the back of your leg. And so you got to open it up with basic stretching. So you got to open up your hips. So just put your palms on the floor and then just straighten out your legs, And so some people can't do that, but you can get there. But yeah, and I would say, there's some basic stretches that can open that up, that can relieve that pressure.
So VG is walking around here. He can't sit. He's in excruciating pain. And so like everything else, he goes, you got to ask Baldi because Baldi will have a cure. And I'm like, I know he will.
Well, I don't believe, sciatica is real, but I don't believe in it. So my stretches that I do on a daily basis, whether it's in a steam room or out in the humidity here, kind of takes care of a lot of those issues. Like I've been a masseuse twice in my whole life. I don't believe in that. I believe all the knots and tension and stress can be relieved just naturally without somebody digging it out.
You stretch every day, Baldi?
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah, I can still do a split. So I still have, because the first thing that goes when you get older, in my age, is your flexibility. So, but if you keep working on your flexibility on a daily basis, you can still, I can still put my palms on the ground, straighten my legs, do a split. I can put my one leg
split, yeah.
my head.
I saw him do it. He did the split.
Holy hell.
He did it. You did it during the football, whatever it was, last year.
I just did it for my nieces at my nephew's wedding in California.
That's sick.
Wow.
Yeah, he's outrageous.
Yeah, of course he can do a split.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Stretch every day, ladies and gents.
All right, so a couple things. Because this is it, the last vacation, and that is on. Right? That is on. We got camp. You're also doing something a lot of fun. Where you headed? The big O-line?
Yeah.
The big
Well,
uglies?
I'm leaving, so I'm in Fort Lauderdale today. I'm flying back this afternoon to Jersey. And I'm flying to Dallas tomorrow morning for the Offensive Line Masterminds clinic in Frisco at the Star. Cowboys at the Star in Frisco, Texas. So Duke Manyweather, Lane Johnson started this thing 7 years ago. This is my 7th trip. Lane invited me the first year to do stuff for the NFL Network. So our first year we went there, we probably had about 40 participants. I'm guessing that we're going to have well over 400 this weekend.
Wow.
In fact, I got a call from one of the conditioning coaches at Alabama just yesterday saying the entire offensive line from Alabama is coming.
Wow.
So, so we're getting a lot of college kids. I remember when Creed Humphrey was coming one of the years, he was a sophomore at Oklahoma. Lane invited him up, so he came up. He comes every year. And the thing that's kind of amazing to me, because honestly, it's July 11th to 13th. So Lane's excited about it because it keeps growing. We kind of keep improving and tweaking it. But you just mentioned we're less than 2 weeks away from the start of camp. Most camps start July 23rd. So that's the day I come back from Italy. And, they just report, so nothing's going on. But here we are, less than 2 weeks away. We're going to have 250 players from the league that are there trying to learn, trying to perfect techniques, fundamentals. We'll talk through. And then this year, for the first time, to my suggestion, we got Mike Trea from the NFL coming just to talk officiating, what they're looking at, how we can kind of clean up some of our techniques so they're not being flagged, they're not getting penalized. So I think that's going to be a good addition this year.
That's fantastic. So you actually will do it at the Cowboys camp, the facility?
Well, we have a training facility up there. Not we, but Duke Manyweather. Duke trains anywhere from 50 to 100 players year-round down there. A lot of guys, they come there to train to get ready for the combine. So we'll get a lot of those kids. But we'll get a lot of NFL players that will come. And Duke's got a facility attached to the Star. So we got their field. If you want to go out in the field and do demonstrations, whatever, we've got that. We got an indoor facility there. And so we'll talk everything from nutrition to training to rehabbing injuries to breakout sessions with, we've got Bruce Matthews coming this year.
Wow.
Andrew Whitworth, Steve Hutchinson, some Hall of Famers coming in. And then Lane loves it. Lane just loves talking offensive line, loves listening to old time stories, the way things used to be. So, it's just a great summit. And I think we'll talk about what the defense line are doing, how to combat some of the things they're doing right now. For example, like I was talking to Von Miller at the Sack Summit the other day. And we were in Vegas, a week and a half ago. And Von was saying, Baldi, why would I look at the ball? Why would I look at the ball if I'm going up against Lane Johnson? Lane's moving before the ball. So, look, if I wait for the ball, Lane's going to get a fast start on me and I'm going to be too late. So I've got to look at other things besides just the ball. So this chess match about who gets the best start and how that starts your play,
Right.
it's a chess match that's going back and forth right now. And so it's pretty interesting, like how to combat some of these things. Just talking to defensive tackles about, the Philly special, or what the Eagles were doing with Kelsey, to get the first push.
Yeah,
the tush push, whatever you want to call it. So, like that stuff. We're just taking it to in a conversation, counterpoint right here.
So what does Von Miller watch? Because you're not, which is interesting because you're right. You can't watch the ball because you watch the ball, then you're reacting. You're late. So what is this focus?
So it's interesting. So I was actually, I'm not dropping names, but I was with Nick and Joey Bosa on Monday, and I was sort of telling them some of the things we were talking about. So if Nick's in a very low 3-point stance, but he's going to stand up a little bit this year, not all the time. But Vaughn stands up. He doesn't like getting into a stance, and then he's rocking. He's rocking back foot, front foot, and he's trying to time it. And he's trying to time his get off to where Lane's moving. So he's looking at Lane. He's looking at the quarterback. He's looking at the clock. No, you can't go past 0. And so he's literally in a rock where he's moving. He's getting momentum. He's getting inertia before the snap. And he does get guilty of offsides. He's in the neutral zone sometimes. Like he understands that part of the risk of it. But at the same time, if it's 3rd and 13, it's 4th quarter, the game's in a balance, he might, if a 5-yard penalty is not going to kill the chance to get to the quarterback. But if he gets to the quarterback, he can end the game like he did in the Super Bowl twice now. So he's looking at that. Max is looking at that. They're all trying to time the snap right now, and they're all rocking. And you're going to see that.
Which makes sense, right? Because if you're rocking, you're right. You're not now watching the ball, then reacting. You're already in that motion, moving, which is interesting because that little fraction will help you get that power, and that can help you maybe beat your man.
Well, if you can beat the tackle on the snap, if the Eagles are in Rio and who knows, play the Packers, you can't hear, let's just say. So you're going silent count. So, if I'm Lane Johnson and I'm in a place where I can't hear, I got one eyeball on the ball and I got one eyeball on my man. I'm stretching my eyeballs. So, and you're trusting that. So if I'm Max, if I'm Nick, if I'm, Vaughn right now, if I can time the snap where the tackle is late and I get them in a hurry up mode and they turn their shoulders too quickly, like literally I should have my way with that tackle. I could go inside shoulder and drive the way TJ Watt would do. I can turn the corner, dip and rip. I can long arm. I can pull my way through. But once that tackle is in that spot, he's in no man's land. It's hard. It's really hard. Now you're just kind of hanging on. Because really the rusher the rusher really should dictate. And that's what the great ones think. In fact, Max Crosby told me, and I love this concept. He tells me that the tackle can never be right. No matter what they do, my counter to what they're doing, I'm going to beat them. And so whether he's right or whether he's never, like the tackle can never be right, whether that's true or not, the mentality is I'm beating that guy.
That's wild.
It's wild.
It really is. I love that. So I love those little intricacies. This will be fascinating. So when the O-line, what day is it? Is it for 2 days or 3 days?
We're all flying in tomorrow. We're all getting into Dallas tomorrow. We start early Friday morning, probably 9 o'clock. We'll go to 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And we'll break and we have all these different things that we could go to if we want to. And then we'll come back. We'll reconvene Saturday morning for a good half day, probably like 8 till like noon. The guys start flying back out. But I'm just amazed because honestly, like I see Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, center right guard from Kansas City. They've won back-to-back Super Bowls. They've been to 3 of the last 4. Like those guys, you're less than 2 weeks away. They've all got nice contract extensions. They all have a big back pocket, big bank. Here they are. They're there and they're taking notes. They're talking. They're leading breakout sessions. Like I remember last year, Graham Barton from Duke was there. Now he was the first-round pick at Tampa. This year he's now the starting center. But he was a left tackle at Duke. But it was interesting last year when he came and he introduced himself to me and we kind of got to get to know each other. He was there with Creed Humphrey, Ryan Jensen. He was sitting with the centers thinking, this might be my position in the NFL. Let me mentally start getting a head start on some of the things. And so I thought that's like, so, one of the things I just wanted to, make sure I emphasize, because there's always knuckleheads in this league. They get in trouble this time of the year. We pay a lot of attention to it. Guys look at holding out for money, all that stuff. And that's business. That's fine. But the majority of these guys want to be pros. They want to be pros for a long time. They want to be committed. They're not out there advertising what they're doing and how they're working out and all this stuff. Nick and Joey Bosa are training every day 2 miles away from where I'm at right now. They don't want anybody to know about it. They don't want any cameras there. The majority of the guys, they want a long-term, they want to be pros. They want to help sustain the longevity of this great league in their own way. And that's 90% of the league. And so I just want to, these guys are down there giving up their time, paying their way, because, being a pro football player is important to them.
Yeah, that's fascinating, man. I think this generation of athlete, no matter what sport it is, they're dedicated in a much more detailed way. Like they're more cerebral, and I think they're less prone to nonsense. Like right? Like think about it. You were thinking about beers and going out and carousing. These kids are about their craft. Yeah.
Every Thursday night of my career, we had a party.
Yeah.
Any team I was on, we had a party. There was always a group. After the game, I mean, I can tell you stories, but that's not. But I'm totally with you. Like Lane Johnson's got his own trainer. He'll be there often. Gabe will be down. Nick and Joey Bosa, they have their own. They hired a guy, an athletic conditioning coach that worked in the NFL. He's their full-time conditioning coach. But like, who wouldn't do that? Have a nutritionist. Have your own coach. Have a guy that does. Have somebody that does your massage therapy. That these guys have their own stem cell therapists now to come back from injuries faster. Like, because they have the means, right? And they know that if they play 8, 10, 12 years, they can set next generations of their family up.
Yeah.
Like Lane Johnson, his kids and his kids' kids will all be set up. Like, he's not going to screw that up. He's not going to do it. And I totally agree with what you said. Like, that should be a mission statement that should be put out by the NFL, because I agree with it 100%.
Yeah. Hey, I got a interesting thing for you. So I was with Spags the other day, and we were talking about training camp, because training camp's around the corner and all. And Andy still goes away for training camp.
Yep.
And I'm curious, in this day and age, right? He's one of the few. There's only a handful of teams that will go away. Andy also does not schedule any joint practices.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said he will never do it.
Yeah. So there's a couple pluses to what Andy's doing. First of all, every year is a new year. He goes to St. Joseph's, Missouri. He's probably 2 hours from Kansas City. He goes up there, and it's a true camp. Like, you bond. There's camaraderie. There's no distractions, even if it's your family. You're up there for a purpose. So every year, a new team comes together. Rookies, free agents. It's a different group of guys. They all, like, Hollywood Brown is up there now. Xavier Worthy. The receiving room is different. Let's get together. Let's concentrate on football. Let's get the playbook down. Let's get our assignments down. Let's perfect this with no distraction. Even Andy doesn't even like the NFL Network and cameras out there. Like, when I go out there, and I'll probably be out there this summer, like, I sit up on a hill and watch practice like everybody else. Nobody's down where all the players are just concentrated on this. That's that. Now, the disadvantage and why teams would say, I don't want to do that, there's an expense to it too, is you have to basically detach electronically. Okay, you're not going to get the same amount of, you're going to get some things, but you don't have all the facilities you have at your club, so you have to kind of make do a little bit, but the sacrifice is worth it, I think.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And it's funny, he's so superstitious that he won't even, because he's never scheduled a joint practice, those joint workouts with other teams. He won't do it. Like, it's fascinating, right? Like, you think about it, and over the last 3 years, being the 3 Super Bowls, like that's cumulative effect, and he still will run the same training camp he's ever done, right?
Well,
doesn't give him any more time off.
It's interesting, though, because honestly, they've been one of the healthiest teams in the league. And I don't know. I know there's all kinds of stats out there about injuries and stuff. I mean, think about their star players. Think about Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones. I mean, you go through the list, right? But basically play every single snap, every single game. I mean, they've missed a handful of snaps between all of them. They're the 3 biggest stars of the team. But Andy believes in contact. He doesn't need to go scrimmage because he gets enough contact in their drills, putting the pads on there, controlling all of that. And so these teams are looking to get their contact and the contact work against other teams. But really, you could control it a lot more with yourself. Basic inside drills, 9-on-7, one-on-ones, all that kind of stuff. Andy will do that just amongst themselves and just iron sharpening iron right there.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man. Well, it's the summertime, so the Nebraska boys were in town. The Spags was in town. We saw a lot of it.
We got a Kate May cuss.
Yes. Everybody's getting ready. This is it. It's like I always love this time of the year because we know in 2 weeks it's on, and now we got football, man.
So it's interesting. So we just had July 4th weekend. And I used to say as a player and a broadcaster that my summer ended July 4th. Like, honestly, now I'm taking this trip to Italy. My girl's never been. She wants to go, so I'm taking her. It's fine. But for the most part, my summers always ended July 4th. Whatever fun I wanted to have, wherever I wanted to visit. Because once July 4th comes mentally, you have to, because Coach Lambs used to tell us that once the season starts, there's no days off. And I've always subscribed to that. You can because you can actually take a day off, but mentally you can't. You just can't, especially in this industry. Things happen every day. You have to be on top of it. You have to be able to address it. But even as a player, I had a Tuesday off, a Monday off as a player. But really, mentally, you never took off. You were basically just getting your body ready for the next week. And so, where you can the only way you can really relax is if you just mentally shut it down. And that was my thing. Like, you can't, after July 4th, you can't shut it down anymore. You're plugged in.
That's awesome. My brother, listen, safe trip to Texas, and then we'll talk to you next week before you leave for Italy.
Sounds good, buddy. You got it, guys.
Love you, brother. Yeah. You're the best.
See you, man.
The great Baldi. You knew he would have a cure.
He doesn't even believe in it.
I don't believe in sciatica.
I don't believe
he doesn't believe in getting sick either, he said. He don't believe. He's like
fascinating dude.
Yeah, he is. That's why he's the one, the only Baldi.
He does splits at his size.
I know. No, he's. And of course, anytime it's Baldi, it's a meat locker. Yeah, because we love the meat locker. Brought to you by Butcher Box, the meat locker. We love it. All right, JP. Coming up, we get the Clubhouse. But first, what do you get to tell us?
All right, cuz. Let's talk real quick about my friends over at FOCO. So excited to talk about them, guys. Listen, if you need a spot for memorabilia, FOCO is the spot. I'm already eyeing that straw, Bryce Harper straw hat. I love it because it has the Phillies red pinstripes. I want to get it for this weekend for when we're going down to the ballpark. But you guys can get they have everything from clothing, memorabilia. We're already going to buy a round of bobbleheads for our boy Andrew over at FOCO as well. They have everything you need, no matter what team, no matter what sport it is. FOCO is the spot. It's the leading manufacturer for sports and entertainment merchandise with a product line that includes apparel, accessories, toys, collectibles, novelty items, and much, much more. Best officially licensed gear for sports and fandoms. Going to a baseball game, hockey game, whatever it may be, show off your love with the team and the branded friendship bracelets. Whether it be hoodies, jackets, beachwear, or even overalls, there is something for fans for almost every occasion. Everyone remembers Jamie rocking the Philly overalls for the playoffs last year. Oh man, I think he stuffed like 8 beers in his overalls. It's pretty impressive stuff from Jamie. FOCO has hooked up PHLY and provided awesome prices for our sets. FOCO always has our backs here for Philly sports fans, and they have yours too as well. Get the best gear around by using the link that you see right here on the screen. If you're listening on podcast, it's PHLY10. Again, the code is PHLY10. This will get you 10% off for all non-presale items. So if you're looking for a gift, looking for something for yourself, head on over to FOCO. It has everything you need. And use that promo code PHLY10 for 10% off. I'm already eyeing that velour Eagle suit for my man, for the cuz. You need it for the season here. So definitely make sure you guys check out our friends over at FOCO. And real quick, guys, it is currently 10:29 in the morning here on the Anthony Gargano Show. Thank you so much for tuning on in. We really do appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying today, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Also, subscribe as well. Once you subscribe, hit that little bell button because that'll let you know exactly when the Anthony Gargano Show is live, as well as all the shows that we have here at PHLY Sports. You can also find us wherever you stream podcasts, Apple, Google, Spotify. You can subscribe there. And also, we'd appreciate if you leave a little rating there as well. But speaking of PHLY Sports, let's talk about the schedule we got going on here today. Following us at 11 a.m., we have PHLY Phillies going live, breaking down that first game. Oh, it's going to be a good one to watch. We have at 12 p.m., PHLY Eagles will be live. At 1 p.m., we have PHLY Flyers. And at 2:30, I believe they're live from Vegas, the Sixers team.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Definitely don't want to miss out on that one. So it'll be live at 2:30 p.m. And all this information I'm talking about, guys, you can get it easily to you. You just have to become a diehard. It's so simple, guys. You need to become a diehard. You're getting exclusive content from all of our beat writers that we have here at PHLY Sports. You get access into those Discord chats. Great communities that we got going on. Some great discussions are happening right now over the Discord chats. And, of course, you get the discount on merchandise, guys. All the great swag that we have. We talked about the Mitchkov Mania t-shirt. Can't wait to get my hands on one. And you can get one discounted if you become a diehard member. That's what we got going on here at the PHLY family. Cuz Clubhouse.
All right, buddy. That's right. The Clubhouse. We got VG's Nugs. We'll chat her out. We got a lot to talk about. A couple things. One, tonight's is 7 o'clock game. So 7:05 tonight. Last night was 6:40. And tomorrow is 6 o'clock. So that's all three different times for the Dodgers, for Phil's Dodgers.
I have no idea why they do this. Like, they have to be high. They're just messing with people.
I like the 6:40 start, to be honest.
Why would you just switch it
I do
every
like the
time?
6:40 start.
I don't.
I hate it. We used to have 7:35 starts. 7:05 was like, that's a little quick.
You're a
after
night
work.
owl, cuz. That's why.
I love the 7:35 starts.
Yes.
I'm a 7:30 start guy. I like 7:30. I don't like 7. All right? I like 7:30.
7's not bad.
Dude, I'm late to almost every game. I'm an inning late because by the time work's done, you shower, you walk the dogs, and you get down there. It's like, it's a hustle. Like, 6:40's almost impossible.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I always have this argument all the time because I hate, like, the West Coast, they love everything early. And I can't do, like, everything's so early. Like, games time should be 7:30.
See,
unless you're having a day game, which is 1:30.
I like the early because then, especially if it's like a weekend or like a Friday, you go early and then you can go out afterwards. You go to Xfinity Live. You can go into the city.
You're single. I mean, you're not single, but you have no kids. What's the difference if it starts to set? You get off at 10 o'clock or 9:30.
It's almost like to sleep, guys. Jeez.
Well, then exactly to your point. It's only 30 minutes. What's a 7 o'clock to a 7:35?
Because it's hard to get settled down to hunker in and watch the game.
It's about the half-hour buffer before the game. After the game is after the game.
Well, I'm completely out because I'm 6:40.
I didn't even understand what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm out on the 6. The 6 is too early, but 7, that's all right.
6:05 is too early. I like 6.
No, but your rationale for the 7:30 is dumb. Because at the end, like, we go to Xfinity Live. Why, you can't go to Xfinity Live if the game starts a half hour later?
Sure, but like, you can't get to the game if it starts a half hour sooner?
No. That's the point. You work.
The drinks will be
Just
there.
because you stumble into this gig, all right, and you think that this is like Disneyland, all right? Most people have to work until 6 o'clock. They got family stuff to do, the whole night.
Because the man of the people. Love it.
I mean, you want to go home and get changed if you work in a collared shirt with a tie.
He wants the game to end earlier so he doesn't have to wait in line for the bull at PBR.
You got it, man. That's exactly
why.
why.
Andrew. He's trying to ride the bull, cuz. Jeez.
I've never ridden that thing.
Mia, my nieces are into it.
She's stuck with us idiots.
I know. I feel bad for her.
I need sometimes, Mia.
Versace, too. He looks a little lost over there, too, sometimes.
Versace's sleeping.
He's worried about the rain. He's going to the game tonight. And he's worried about the rain.
He's refreshing AccuWeather.
All right, let's go. VG's Nugs. VG.
Hey, can I say, like, when are we going to Vegas? The hockey guys were in Vegas. The basketball guys are in Vegas.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
We're going to be ready. He out here.
Yeah, Reading.
VG, they don't trust us in Vegas. That's what it is.
There's some shopping outlets in Reading, I think we can hit.
They're still there. Yes.
Come on, Nike store.
yeah.
Popping tags in Nike store.
Hey, everyone's Paul George crazy. Everyone, you probably have seen us, Castellanos. They have his giveaway basketball jersey. He taped over his name and put Paul George's, which is pretty cool. Everybody's buying it. I love when the teams all like cross promote and cross love each other.
So do I.
I still hate that jersey as a giveaway for Castellanos. Basketball jersey's weird.
It's better than what the Sixers had.
Yes.
We are not hard to please, man. Like this simple gesture, like just drove so many people like super happy with this.
But
Super
you know
excited.
what it was? Like, when you see the other teams like backing each other, it's, dude, I
get giddy
created
up.
this 4-for-4. Before union, it means the same thing. It's a euphemism. I hate saying it right away. Oh, 5 for 5. Okay, duh. All right, there's college teams. There's everything about Philadelphia.
Phoenix.
4 for 4 means, you're all in on everything.
You're Philly through and
right?
through.
And so it was funny when I was growing up. I mean, VG and I are growing up because we're the contemporaries. There was like this, like the Phillies and the Sixers, or the Phillies and the Eagles shared a locker room.
Yes.
The Sixers office was at Veterans Stadium. I
didn't know that.
Yeah.
God.
And the Eagles and the Phillies were both in the same locker room, so those guys were always hanging out.
Yeah.
And then you would see them all together. Like there was a great picture. Do you remember the picture? Doc,
The art
Bobby
museum?
Clark,
No.
Mike Schmidt.
Yeah, at the art museum. Well, because everyone wants them to recreate it now with the stars that we have now with our teams. Everyone always brings up that picture you're talking
I
about.
love that picture.
Yeah.
They should.
You don't remember that?
Yeah, Bryce,
I thought you
Jalen,
meant
Joel.
them hanging out. The one of them in their uniforms at the
Yeah.
art museum. Yeah, I know that one.
But
Yeah.
they would always hang out
Yeah.
all the time. But that picture was almost indicative when we were kids, like about the whole, how the town felt.
This is a good time to do it because everyone seems to be on the upswing.
Except that we don't
Well,
really have a
Carson
star
Wentz
for the
tried.
Flyers.
Remember Carson Wentz tried? He wanted the Ben Simmons to go
Good
get a
thing we did
cheesesteak
it.
with him.
Carson Wentz and Ben Simmons
cro-
should go get cheesesteaks together in
See,
Oklahoma.
we can't do that picture now because we don't have a Flyers guy to
Beach
be
golf.
Michkov, man.
before he
He's
even
coming.
stepped on the ice.
Doesn't matter.
All right.
You got it
Nah,
this year.
you got to go Michkov.
Yeah, you got it this year.
No, you finally got like hope. Like listen, I don't care before he stepped on the ice or not. I'm all in.
All in.
All in on Michkov.
Yeah.
All right,
Beach
that's
copped
it.
up, baby.
Yeah. You would go Bryce.
For sure.
You got to go Joel,
Of course.
Oh yeah.
right? And you would go.
Jalen.
I guess you got to go Jalen, right?
Wow, why'd you hesitate, cuz?
I know.
QB1, baby.
Could you go? Could you go
no,
Kelsey?
because but like, is he? If you think about it, like I love. Which man are we?
He's
lifting?
saying Kelsey. He's retired.
So
Yeah.
what? He's an
Nah,
Eagle
he's
for
retired.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is. He is, but you got to go current player.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to go current player.
Okay. We go
I mean,
current
I was
player,
thinking
Jalen.
AJ.
AJ Brown.
Yeah,
I think Jalen.
he's the best player.
I agree with that statement, but I think Jalen's the bigger player right now as far as just popularity.
Yeah. I think if you're saying face of Eagles, it's Jalen over AJ.
Oh, he's a quarterback.
Yeah, of
That
course.
too.
But I think that's up.
Do you know the rumors that would start swirling about Jalen not being the guy in that photo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
man.
Oh, he's getting traded. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. That would not be
I'll
great.
be honest with you. I need a year from him.
I agree. Listen,
I'm shook a little bit with him.
and if we didn't have last year happen, and we're talking about this time before last year, you probably would have said Jalen too. You would have said Jalen, Joel, and Bryce.
well,
Yeah.
But because of what
I-
happened last year, you're probably a little more hesitant. I think a lot of people feel the same way.
Like, listen, I think like AJ Brown's their best player.
Oh, for
And I
sure.
love-
No, for
like,
sure.
I love AJ Brown.
Yeah.
AJ Brown is a
Elite wide receiver.
great player.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I need Jalen to play up to what he can do. What we saw in that Super Bowl, that game was one of the best games a quarterback can play.
Yeah.
I mean, he was toe to toe with Mahomes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You could say he
In
played
that
better.
one game, that was it. The one game, he was toe to toe with Mahomes. I'm not saying you're going to do that, but I need you to play. He was woeful during that stretch, woefully bad during that stretch last year.
Yeah.
That there was a lot of factors working against him. We've talked about it ad nauseum, whether it's the coordinator, the head coach, the play call, whatever you want to call it, a lot of factors are going against him. But now, no excuses.
I'm with you,
All right,
guys.
no excuses.
Well,
I need to see him play well
There's a lot
and
of
play
stories.
smarter.
There's a lot of stories coming out that I've been reading about Jalen and his leadership role
I know.
in the locker room, and that he's taking on more of like a vocal stance, and that
Yeah,
more so
well,
than
whatever.
he has.
I mean, it was the opposite.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know how
Because
that's going to correlate.
what we heard was it was the opposite, that he was aloof and that he was not, he was,
Yeah.
He was not that guy, so we'll see. I don't even care about leadership as much. I care about do the quarterback stuff.
Yeah. That's
All
what I
right,
was
because
going to say.
his quarterbacks, and you were with me and Baldi while we were looking at film every week. You need to do that.
BJ. He stares at me every day. Hey, Jalen.
Jalen's going to be a stud this year, only because the offensive guru, Nick Sirianni's got his hands back in the offense.
Oh, your favorite.
They're going to roll like a machine this season.
I hope so.
No, I think he's going to be good. I have a good feeling about Jalen this year. I think he's going to put to bed a
I
lot
need
of
to
this
see
stuff.
it. I like feelings and all this other stuff.
I know.
They don't mean anything.
I understand.
They have a great skilled people. You added Saquon, upgrade. They should be. But again, I need him eyes upfield, and I need him making plays when he breaks the pocket. I need him making plays, looking downfield.
Yeah.
I don't need him just jetting off the pocket and looking at and seeing ghosts.
I agree.
Darting to the opposite side where he's got no help.
I agree 100%.
So I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Hey, if history repeats itself, the last time this team lost to the Bucks in the first round of the playoffs, they came back the next year and kicked major butt.
And listen, a lot of times in the arc of a player, you have a down tick, right? So a lot of times it goes like this, down tick, then back up. So the chances are that he has the bounce back and he's on his way. I don't think he's Wentz.
No.
He's got more talent. More talent than Wentz.
It's all
his heads were together.
Well, that's the point. No, Wentz, don't get it twisted. Wentz had talent. Wentz had a better arm.
Yeah.
Had a better arm than Jalen.
Oh, yeah.
But Wentz had a 10-cent head. Now, we'll see. Now, this is where I believe Jalen's put together. He's more durable. He's smarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's more earnest, I believe. Less stubborn.
Yeah.
So that's why I think he's not Wentz. But we saw this. That's why I'm shook. We went through this where you had a franchise quarterback and all of a sudden falls off the cliff.
Yeah.
I think Wentz had a bigger ego than Jalen as well. Because to watch you take a team to essentially the playoffs and then watch your backup win that, and then having to try to climb that mountain and be that guy.
That's a ghost. Yeah,
it's a ghost.
He was an overthinker.
That's where the hero ball
he was
came
always
into
in
play.
his head.
Yes.
He was trying
his
too
own
hard.
worst enemy, Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. All right, that's a good nug. We went off on a tangent.
Good job, VJ.
Zach Wilson hasn't had a good run. Quarterback, highly picked, stunk at the Jets. His ex-girlfriend, Abby Gile, just got engaged to his former roommate and Commanders wide receiver.
No way.
Dax Milne. Is that a violation or what?
Dude, this is like the Matt Stafford story.
Yeah. What's up with the backup quarterback and all that stuff?
No. The Matt Stafford.
It's similar.
Well, she was just trying to make the guy. Guy's married her.
Married. What? His former roommate's girlfriend.
That's bad, man.
Yeah, that's bro code violation.
That's a stove violation.
Abby, man, she's
that's
woman.
terrible, man.
Dude.
Poor Zach.
She dumped him. She's like, this guy stinks. I better move on.
Yeah, that's
He's got a
terrible.
real
Have you guys
career.
seen Zach Wilson with the Broncos? He's rocking the slip back long hair.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I saw on the tweeters.
All right.
I don't think Denver's going to see him either.
Oof.
We're gonna try to do something fun here. Play a little audio.
We're gonna try. Yeah, let's see if we can do
get
it.
the technology to work.
Give me a second.
Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy's in a little bit of heat lately for making some statements regarding him not suspending his running back Ollie Gordon after a DUI.
Ollie Gordon's a good player. He had a DUI, but he did not suspend him. How do you not suspend him?
Well,
all right, here we go.
Let's hear it.
Four beers and done it myself 100 times.
Dude, that's terrible.
The worst possible answer.
Right?
First of all, Mike Gundy's been around 100 years, right?
Literally, since I was a kid.
He's a veteran coach.
Yes.
He did not suspend his best player, and his rationale is, what's the big deal? I did it 100 times.
Yeah.
I just got unlucky.
He's a
I
man.
was just lucky, he said.
He's a man. He's
yes.
40.
He said he was just lucky.
And he also was like, I calculated his weight and how many beers he had. It's like, dude, he was legally DUI. Like, what are you talking
Here's
about?
the point is, like, when you're coaching kids, you're
Right.
coaching college kids,
Yes.
and you don't make a statement, again, Uber.
Brutal.
Like literally, but like you're a leader of young men, and that's what
Coach,
you
you're
said.
coaching like
That's
You're
absolutely
molding men.
insane.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. All right, whether you spend it or not, that answer is the worst possible answer. That's what really goes crazy. Like, whatever. You're not suspending it because you're like, I'm not touching my best player. I don't care what happens. That's one thing. But to say I've done it 100 times.
Yeah, I've never got caught. I'm lucky. So I let the kid go.
That's crazy.
He's literally been coaching there. Like he's been coaching there since 05. That's insane. I remember his first year. That was the first year I watched college football. Absolutely wild. 166 and 79, Mike Gundy.
Such bad leadership, role model.
Well, I mean, what do you think's going on in Stillwater? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, what do you think? Like, these college programs, by the way, are completely fascinating.
Yeah.
Because you're in these little towns. The coach is he's
the mayor.
More than that, right?
It's like the president.
You know, he's got all the power in the world.
Highest paid state employee.
Yeah. Like, it's a fascinating world.
So those OSU fans out there are like, yeah, Gundy, that's what
they
you
don't
say.
care.
Yeah,
What,
man.
you think they care?
I agree with those.
College football is like church
The
today.
shocking thing is that whoever stopped him, the cop who stopped him, didn't let him go.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully.
Yeah, but he has
Because,
to.
like, dude, I can tell you stories among stories about athletes that had near misses.
Because this kid had to have been drunk off his mind for them to give him a DUI.
You know,
You
I mean,
know?
it's crazy.
Want to do a Rite Aid back in the day thing?
Yeah, let's do
Ooh,
it right
right.
back in the day.
Back
love
in the
those.
day when slugger strikeout king Joey Gallo, he threw a no-hitter one day and then went to his prom the same night. And he took Greg Maddox's daughter to the prom that night.
Wow, get out of here.
So he throws a no-hitter and then takes Greg Maddox's daughter to
Look
the
at that
prom
prom
back in
What's
the day.
what's with the tie pool?
Yeah, what's with that, BG?
What are you
I don't understand.
sitting
I thought she
there?
was holding an umbrella at first, but
Yeah.
she's pulling his tie.
That's awesome.
They must be into something.
Bounce chicken, wow, wow.
Yeah, whatever they're into, you know.
You know, he's a weird.
That's
He's a weird dude.
Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
He's a weird. You ever see that video of him, like, ripping cheeks on during an interview?
That's so weird. Like,
Yeah.
like in a podcast,
He-
like
no,
podcast
he's-
setting.
for
Got no
the
place.
for the Yankees. He's just standing there, and then he goes, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. Come on, man, hold
Ripping
it."
cheeks.
Ripping cheeks, cuz. Don't be ripping cheeks during the show.
I tried to say it nicely. I didn't know how else to go about saying that.
You mean flatulence?
Pass gas.
Yeah, like there's a million different ways to say all that.
Ripping cheeks. We're
Ripping cheeks. Oh my
He's got
god.
rip on the mind. He put it in the title today. Trey Turner rips one into the night.
Yeah, I like
He's
the rip.
ripping cheeks. The big ripping and
By
tear
the way,
guy.
there is a little basketball news. Kawhi Leonard is withdrawing from Team USA for the Olympics.
Probably should.
He will be, according to Shams, he's going to be replaced by
Cooper Flag.
Derek White.
No way. Are you being serious?
Yeah,
Derek White?
Yeah, Derek White.
Dude, Cooper
Actually,
Flag.
I'll be honest with you. I like Derek White.
I know, but you don't think there's better players
I'm
in the,
sure,
in
but
the
like,
U.S. than Derek White?
You know, I guess they're looking for a certain
Role
skill set.
players. Yeah, he probably should drop
Oh
out,
man,
though.
Drew Holiday and Derek White are going to be on the same team,
Yes.
Oh man.
along with Tatum.
You sound like a
Yeah.
It's
Boston
like
fan.
the
What's going
Celtics all
on
over
here?
again.
Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's awful. I'm looking forward to the Olympics.
Oh, I love the Olympics.
I just saw the schedule. I'm excited.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, I'll have to find it again.
Yeah,
but-
get the schedule for me, man.
Dude, I got a new appreciation for the Olympics. I don't know, maybe a decade ago when I was in Amsterdam. Went to a coffee shop, enjoyed some herbs, and they had a little upstairs
Some
room
herbs.
where you hang out. So the Olympics were going up.
Toots goes, I was with, Toots said to me, was that VG, man? He's the greatest. What? Yesterday you said you were on some kind of painkiller or something.
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah.
So we enjoyed
I
herbs.
was enjoying some herbs.
We go upstairs and there's like a TV lounge room, and it was during the Olympics, and we were watching the Olympics with people from all kinds of countries, like 5 or 6 different countries, and everyone really takes it seriously around the world, and it was great, like rooting for your own home country.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
All right, so July 28th, we have Serbia. On July...
So USA, Serbia, July 28th?
Yeah.
When's it kick off?
Wow, John Peace is right. Brunson snubbed again. I'm surprised Brunson doesn't get on the team.
Yeah, man. Not
It's like the 26th.
You know?
I think it's the 26th of July is when everything gets
It's
going.
when it kicks off.
Yeah.
Because it'll be great because Paris is what, 6 hours ahead?
Yeah, I think 6.
England's 5.
Yeah.
So we got, that's cool because like during, you know,
some stuff during the day.
During
We'll have
the day,
some
we'll
nice
have some stuff. Yeah.
Early morning.
Yeah.
And
I
you
like
got-
the early morning.
I love the early
And you got
morning.
Like
soccer,
something like early
too.
morning hoops.
Like the British Open.
Yeah,
like 3
I love the British
3 a.m.,
Open.
You got something
I
on
can't
TV.
believe you said that. I love the British Open. This weekend is the Scottish Open, which is
The lead-in?
Yeah, the lead-in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about waking up with your sports on.
Yes.
Oh,
is
yeah.
the best.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's from growing up with the Wimbledon. When you get off in the summer, you wake up and there's tennis on.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's why I like the Premier League because it's like Saturday morning. You wake up, it's like 10 o'clock.
I see
have
that.
Coffee,
Yeah, yeah. I
and
see
you're
that.
just like, all right, I can watch an awesome
agree with
match
that.
against
Yeah.
whoever. And yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I used to wake up for Napoli.
Yeah.
Napoli matches.
Well, I was saying I started watching it because I get home at 3 and the Serie A was on.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd sit there and I'd watch it, you know. And I wasn't glued.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it's something that
Yeah.
something to pass the time till football starts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so July 17th against Serbia, Wednesday. So that's going to be 12 p.m. On Saturday, July 20th at 3 p.m., we have South Sudan. And then on Monday...
South Sudan.
What's the line on that? 103?
Yeah. Lay it.
And then on Monday, we have Puerto Rico. So that's Monday, 22nd, 3 o'clock against Puerto Rico.
Jose Alvarado.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
The closer.
Yeah. That's going to be fun.
Hey, I like almost anything Kelly Green, but there's some worlds colliding. I saw. I got an ad for it. It must be because I like the old metal music, rock and roll, and the Kelly Green. Let me know if you're in on this jacket. Kelly Green leather biker jacket.
I'd do it. If it was baggy, I'll
Oh,
do
my
it.
God. It's horrible.
Yeah,
I'll do
I
it.
am so out on the Kelly
That's
Green
horrible.
leather
The
biker
I
tag
can't
is
do that.
straight to hell.
Why, you're doing that?
If it's baggy, I'll do it.
You can't do that.
I'll do it.
Mia, you in on that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's an absolutely not.
How about you?
I'm good.
Versace.
good.
He's gonna wear his
Versace needs Versace.
He's gonna wear his robe underneath.
Yeah. No, I can't do that. You had a bucket hat up.
Oh, it was on FOCO. They have a Kelly Green Eagles bucket hat. They call it like a boonie hat, like the military tropical hat.
the
Yeah, it
camo
looked
one.
really cool.
Some
I
good
would do that.
That's
Guys,
a
good
good looking
stuff on
hat.
Yeah, I would totally do
You know
that.
what sucks is I'm not a real like bucket hat guy. I've never worn the bucket hat.
You're not
Why?
a bucket hat, man.
I don't
On
know.
a good summer
Bucket
day,
hatsman.
I look
picnic, barbecue.
It looks good on other people.
It's my beach show
I look
hat.
so silly in them.
You do?
I like feel like a goofball wearing one. So
I
I like the
admire
dad
the
hat.
bucket
The dad
hat.
hat's a good hat. You know,
It's a
nice.
great hat, the bucket hat. But
Yeah,
like,
I do like
I'm
it.
a cat more like, you know, I'll go more like you. I will just wear a baseball cap
Yeah.
backwards.
Love the baseball cap. Bucket hats,
All right.
baby.
How many more you got?
Got a couple. Give a yo to Kate Scott, Sixers broadcaster.
Let's go.
Yo, Kate.
She's going to be, her voice is going to be in Madden 25.
I saw that.
Good for
Let's
her,
go.
right?
Yeah,
She's
that's-
paired up with Brock Heward.
I love
That's
that.
incredible.
awesome.
That's a great honor.
I think
for
she
her.
does good work.
Yes.
I'm a Kate Scott fan.
Love the Kates.
Anaheim Ducks
Boo.
doing a little retro uniforms this year.
No, dude.
You don't like it?
No, I love it. That's why I hate
They're going
it.
back to the OG duck and a little more orange.
Are they really?
Yeah, they used to.
It's good. It's
Yeah,
good.
That's
it's the
actually
new uni
strong,
on the right.
dude.
Right?
I like the-
That's a great jersey.
Yeah,
I
we
like
have
the
the purple.
Ducks now, though.
You like the purple?
I like the
Why?
purple ones.
Go Chie.
He's on
That jerk off.
Yeah, Gautier. That's a great jersey.
It is. I like even the
It's a
purple
strong
one.
jersey.
Yeah.
And going back to that logo is great.
I hate to be the millennial, but that movie, the Mighty Ducks movie, got me into hockey.
No, I can see
That
that.
movie?
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Who's the
I
who's,
watched with the kids when Massimo watched that.
I'll
who's
watch
the
it right
goalie
now.
from that movie? Who's like a big
Goldberg.
the Flyers fan, Goldberg.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had the
Yeah,
Flyers
man. Yeah.
jersey on. Yeah.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
Speaking of jerk offs, tow truck drivers, New Pennsylvania law. They got to take photos of your car parked illegally. They got to have your license plate in the photo, and they have to have the sign saying you can't park there before they can tow you. And if you want to fight the law, they have to give you the photos for free so you can complain and challenge your tickets.
That's smart.
That's great.
Well,
yeah.
that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
They are vile.
They
They are vile.
super aggressive.
They're the worst thing in the world.
Tow truck drivers.
They're the worst. The worst.
And then you just listen for an accident, and then you just show up. They charge outrageous fees for those people that just randomly on an accident.
terrible.
Yeah.
The worst, like between the parking authority
Yes.
and the tow truck. Oh, that's the worst. Oh my God. Can't stand you.
The baseball game the other day had some interesting ads combined. Jesus, you know those Jesus ads they throw up on TV
Yes.
sometimes behind
Yeah.
the home plate? They got a Jesus next to some Hooters ads.
What?
It's great.
Jesus included everyone, even Hooters. It's
a good
White
combo.
Sox game.
Great combo.
Somebody's got to. You can't have Hooters next to Jesus.
And it says he gets us on the right
Right.
side.
Yeah, that's not.
Hooters, he gets it.
Well, that's the same company.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You got
Jesus does get us.
to move
Who sold
Hooters.
Hooters?
You got to move Hooters out of that. Middle thing. You got to
Oh,
put something.
man.
Put anything.
Any-
Meineke, right? Like whatever it is. Hey, you can't put Hooters.
I'm sure Jesus was a Hooters
I'm
guy.
sure,
Yeah,
but,
if he
you
was
know.
around, he'd be a Hooters
Hey,
guy.
by the way, they had some great wings. Are they still in business?
Or you can make the argument that he gets us. That this is what we do
he gets
as
us.
human beings.
Yes.
This is what we're about.
Are this? I'm assuming they're still in business and doing well.
Oh yeah.
Are they?
Yeah. And they have the tilted kilt. Do you know about the
I'm not a
tilted
tilted
kilt?
kilt guy.
Someone just said that in the chat. Flyers and
yeah?
Seven. Jesus more of a tilted kilt guy.
Yeah, it's they wear like these like plaid kilts and
Oh, they don't
it's
do
the
it
same
anymore.
concept.
They don't
but
do that anymore.
They don't do the kilt?
They don't do that anymore. I was in the tilted kilt 2 years ago, and they were all wearing the typical leggings and just a t-shirt now.
I've never been. I've only been to Hooters once. It was on.
I did a show at Tilted Kilt in
Township.
Jersey.
Oh yeah.
Township.
Yes.
That closed down. Now it's the Jersey Goat. That's the one I went to. And
The
I saw
Jersey Goat.
the leggings with the t-shirt.
There was also a Tilted Kilt in Clearwater.
Oh, really?
Like that was
That
a
makes
big
sense.
for the Phillies.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Like that was I think that's where it started.
I think that's where Hooters started too down there. Didn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Clearwater? I'm
Yeah.
going down there in 2 weeks.
There
I'll
you
be in
go.
St. Pete, so I'll find the OG Hooters.
There you go.
What are you doing down there?
My girlfriend's birthday. She wanted to go to St.
Oh.
Pete's. Yeah.
Oh, the St. Pete's nice.
Yeah, it's her 30th.
Strong.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
That's a great beach down there.
It's probably going to be nicer down there than here, but cooler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the beach is nice.
Yeah, just
Clearwater
sharks.
Beach is a strong beach.
It is nice.
Watch out for all the sharks.
Yeah, it's
All
bad.
these attacks, man. It's bad.
I know.
Don't get in the water. Bacteria now is a
be-
problem. Like, dude, don't get in the water.
I'm going to go
I
toes
want
deep.
to ask. I want to ask Todd on Friday. We watched Jaws on July 4th.
So did
as
I.
a family.
Yeah, so did I.
Awesome. So you remember Mia? We watched Jaws.
I
Me was.
can't watch that movie.
That's right. You and me was in the other. But you remember me and and your brother and your cousins were watching. Your father
I was facing away from Disney people.
and we were watching Jaws. It still holds up.
Oh, it's still good. I mean, there are like brief moments where the shark looks really fake.
Well, forget the shark.
Yeah.
But the rest of
yeah.
for a movie that's that old, it actually holds up in time. Like you don't miss in the technology or the cell phone or nothing.
No, this might be Spielberg's greatest movie. I really
He's
like
amazing.
it.
Like you think about what he's done.
Yeah.
My
You gotta talk
friend,
about it.
my friend loves the beer from that movie, Narragansett.
Oh yeah.
That's all
wow.
he drinks, and
Yep.
yeah,
That's cool.
he's always like, "We need a bigger boat." When he breaks it
Yeah,
up,
yeah. That's good. That's cool.
I'm like, all
That's
right,
cool.
man.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Chris Sanchez tonight. Fightins
Dude,
Take-
go for us, man.
They're going to win again. They're
Yes.
Gavin Stone. They're going to win again.
I like
Feel
it. Yeah, I feel that. I got a Bet Parks, a little soccer parlay I'm feeling too.
What do you got?
England.
Netherlands and Colombia. Pays plus 309.
No, it's coming
There you
home to England, not here.
Yeah.
All right. We're coming home. What? You're
Let's see.
He's
know what
British.
they say?
He's
Say
all
that.
England up. He's all 30 lines.
Are you
up.
England says it's coming
I
home.
thought you're Irish.
Yeah, but
Isn't that a
close
rivalry,
enough.
by the way?
Irish in
Close-
England.
Close enough. I got a little. I got
no.
You better not say that to your relative.
Violation.
I got a little British in me.
That'd be like me rooting for Brazil, which I would never
Oh
do.
man.
I'm Irish, German, and English. All right. I get
Wait,
the
why
three.
did you pick
You gotta
Germany as your
lean
squad?
Irish, and you lean into
Because
the
England, I
Irish
like
side.
Yeah, I
Alexander.
got news for you. There's some people that would hurt you
Yeah.
for saying that.
We're have to
That's not good.
Dude, we have to bring Northeast Philly in here. To,
So we know some 30 Streeters and 2nd Streeters. That would be like, what? All right. That's going to do it for us. Go Fightins. Thanks for hanging, everybody. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
We all silly like the mayor.